When you guys were all together back watching the Broncos whoop up on the Falcons, what'd you think about this year's team?
Man, we look amazing. The day couldn't have went much better, right? We had the celebration, the recognition, and did the flag planting, the second quarter intro. It was really a amazing day. And then the Broncos to perform how they did, the defense and offense, everybody making plays, really. But talking with those guys, give them some small words of wisdom. Even them being able to see what we accomplished and motivating them, and you could kind of see like they were intrigued and interested. And I don't know if it gave them an extra jolt to see us and to like know that they're on that path. They can get to that Super Bowl and get in the playoffs this year and do some great things. So it was pretty good to see.
You see like that kind of potential in this Broncos team, even if it's not this year, like going all the way, but like, hey, some of the, foundational pieces are there.
Yeah, absolutely. The chemistry, that's the first foundational piece, right? They get along. You can tell like they play for each other. They play within the scheme. They play within the defense. No one's mad anytime during the point of not getting the ball, mad at the play calling, decision making. You don't hear none of those rattling. So being a young team and having success right now and not hearing any of that noise is going to make them even better in the next 2, 3 years. Like I really see them being the top of the division for a minute, and getting back to that Bronco era of those continuous conference championships.
How does that work when there's no, infighting with the team and stuff? Where does that come from? How does that possible?
It's upstairs, it's the front office. They do a great job of mending these personalities and these people that have to come together for one cause. And, you know, shout out to them because that's their job, right? Their job is to mold this team along with the coaches, but it's to get the ingredients, right? You get the ingredients and let the coach cook.
That was like one thing about that Super Bowl 50 team. I mean, you guys were really close. And even all these years later, you hear all these stories about that year's team, the stuff that you guys did away from the field. I mean, was that your perception of what happened that year?
Yeah, that was a special year. We got a little of everything involved in being successful that year. A little luck, hard work, everything. We pulled everything out of that year. Everything we could, every resource we had, we pulled, and we needed it. But it takes that. It takes that, and year in, year out to be at the top.
Yeah.
Um, it takes some giving and taking with that roster and coaches and players. So, um, it definitely is a rest.
You see, this year's Broncos team, they have like a little bit. I mean, I don't want to compare them to your guys' defense, obviously, but you see some of the pieces there where the secondary is really strong and the pass rush is really strong. Those two key ingredients, is what led you guys all the way to winning the Super Bowl. What do you like about this year's secondary? Like, you had a chance to chat with a guy like Pat Sertan.
Yeah, I mean, Pat is first off, the size of Pat is kind of impressive when you walk up on him. It's like, oh, this is a big kid, and that's what me and Talib was saying. Yeah, Pat, man, he's a big kid, and he's smart. We talked about, his relationship with his dad. What it was like growing up because me and Key, we got sons, so we were trying to learn what he was taught, how his dad, really developed him throughout the years because only experience I have is my dad, and I want to know how to, project that upon my son. So, yeah, but they're scrappy. They're
Mm-hmm.
smart and scrappy. That's the first thing. You gotta be smart, and then you gotta play with, relentless effort. And I think Vance has done a great job getting them to play that way.
Yeah, they fly around, man. You could see like all the turnovers that they're producing and stuff. It's been fun to see that side of the ball excel. And then on the other side, Bo Nix, man, it seems like this whole city has Bo Nix fever. What do you think about this rookie quarterback?
He's playing amazing. He's playing amazing. He's mature. We all knew he was an older quarterback coming out, so he was should be mature. But being a coach's son, you can tell he's all about you know doing things the right way, being coachable, and just learning. And he's doing an amazing job. He's staying within the system. Coach Payton is doing a great job of going slow with him, running the ball, keeping defenses off balance with the screens. And I've done a million interviews, and I always talk about running the ball. Like, you got to be able to run the ball first. And without that, then you're dead in the water. You see these teams got these young quarterbacks, Caleb and
Jaden Daniels.
Ja- well, Jaden. He has a run game as well. Well, he had one earlier, but just trying to get these kids to go out there with bad offensive line and just throw the ball around is not going to be um, efficient. It's just
Mhm.
not. You're asking too much. Like Mike Tomlin said, I heard him say, these coaches are relinquishing the responsibility of coaching and developing. They want to get these guys in right now and expect them to be Pro Bowl caliber players. And that's just, I don't know what happened in that process, but my belief is that you're hiring young coaches with no experience and that have never played the game. So how are they going to coach an NFL player? Like, it's more than X's and O's. I remember when the league was full of coaches that were 45, 50 plus. There was no coaches under 50, right? Because it takes experience, it takes the reps, I don't care how smart you are. It takes time with dealing with people. You're a head coach. Your job is not just to coach football. You have to deal with people and to make help all these people come under one umbrella, work well together. And I think that's what we had with Cool. Cool found a way to control all these personalities and have one understanding that no one is bigger than his team. And coaches are just too young. They're just too young.
You see Sean Payton, I mean, just being around the team a little bit there, you see the way that he kind of commands their respect and their attention. And you think that's a lot of the success with Bo is just how Sean's been able to, slowly bring him along.
I mean, look at the track record. Look at Coach Payton's record. You have no choice but to respect that. But when you got a coach that was in college last year and this is his first head coaching job, it's like, bro, what? I'm 30, I'm 32. You 36. You ain't played a game. You ain't been in the NFL locker room. You just been coaching. How you gonna tell me anything? I'm a grown man. How you gonna tell me anything? Period. Like, I'm
Yeah.
35, you 36. Like, it's just like that. It's not there. Like, even I mean, I talk to Lieb all the time about when McVay was there and with LA, and it was a fun environment, like super fun. But when it's time to knuckle down and tell Von Miller and tell Keith to leave and tell TJ Ward, these strong personalities, hey, sit your ass down or you're gonna be suspended. Can he do that? We're
Hmm.
winning. It's fun. Y'all got a team full of all stars. It's fun. Like, that's young and fun, but when it's time to really get down and do the dirty work and really communicate things that have to be communicated across, can they do it? And I think that's where the lack and you see the failure in a lot of these young coaches.
Yeah, it makes you appreciate some of the guys who've been around for a long time, like Mike Tomlin, Sean Payton, those kind of guys.
Mhm.
I mean, just the knowledge that they must have, having done it for so long. The players respect that then, huh? Like, you can tell when you're playing for a coach who gets it.
For sure. Oh man, it was a boy when I went to Tampa. Let me.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my!
right away. You're just like, "Uh-oh."
Right away, they're
Mhm.
not trying to win here.
Uh-huh.
It was night and day. But I'm so lucky and blessed that I went from Cleveland, which is not a good organization, and I dealt with the bullshit first. Because if I would have been in Denver and then went, like I talked to Roby about, he's like, TJ, you told me that this is not the same. I'm like, bro, I told you, man. Y'all live here and it's lovely. It's so lovely. But when you get to that dark side of the NFL and these bad teams, it can be miserable.
Yeah, it's a grind. I mean, every week you're putting your body out there on the line, and when you're not winning, man, it just creates a bad culture, huh?
For sure.
Yeah, yeah, that makes it a tough. You being an Oregon guy, I'm sure that you've seen Bo come along a little bit here. Has he surpassed your expectations for this year? Like, did you know he would even be this good?
No, he's playing really well. I knew he wouldn't be bad. Put it like that, right? But he's playing really well. And like I said before, that hats off to Sean and Bo. Um, Sean's putting the game plans and putting in Bo in positions to be as successful as possible.
Uh,
And
I saw on Twitter like you like to call him Bo Vic.
Bo Vic, Bo Vic, yeah, man, Bo out there like deceptively really moving on cats, and they don't expect it. But like you said, I used to not like Bo. He's at Auburn, and they beat us at Oregon. And then he came to Oregon. I'm like, cool. I'm a Bo Nix fan. And then we drafted. I'm like, oh man, I'm a Super Bowl Knicks fan now. So, yeah, Bo Vic.
Are
Bo,
Bo Vic, yeah, for sure. I love it. Are those running quarterbacks guys like that who like, hey, maybe you don't think that they're quite that athletic when you're at that safety position, they come up on you pretty quick, huh?
yeah, those are the guys. Like they're runners, but they're not runners. It's like the Russell Wilsons, right? They're really pocket passers, but they will get out and run. The Herberts, who is it, like Geno Smith, like those guys, right? They're
Mm-hmm.
athletic, but they don't always use their athleticism. And then you get the third downs and they get to running or second and longs. Those are the worst.
Yeah,
Those.
that it's always amazing to me because like I see like somebody like Bo, and then he comes up to like a safety like someone who's as athletic as you are, and then he could just like make you miss so easily. I'm like, how is that possible?
I think we may have to put Bo up there. Like, I don't think he's in the Herbert category. I think he's definitely in the Hurts,
Uh
Murray, Lamar. He's in that. He may be the only white guy in there, but
huh.
he's for
Yeah.
sure in that group.